All right, let's dive into something that's absolutely key for your GCSE computer science exam, handling files in Python. If you've ever wanted your programs to actually remember things, to save data so it's not all gone when you close the window, then you are in exactly the right place. Let's get into it.
So have you ever done this? You build an awesome little program, maybe a quiz, you get a high score, and then you close it, and poof, it's all gone. It's a super common thing when you're starting out, and there's a really simple reason why it happens. The thing is, the memory your program uses when it's running, it's like a goldfish's memory, super temporary. The technical term is volatile. To give your program a real long-term memory for stuff like high scores, user settings, or saved games, it needs to be able to write that information down in a file. And today, we're going to learn exactly how to do that. Okay, to make this super easy to remember, especially when you're under pressure in an exam, just think of it as a simple 4-step toolkit. Open, read, write, and close. Pretty much every single thing you'll do with a file uses these 4 fundamental actions. We're going to break down each one. All right, first step. Opening a file. Seriously, just think of it like grabbing a notebook off a shelf. You can't read what's inside or jot down a new note until you've actually opened it, right? It's the exact same logic in your code. You have to create that connection first. And take a look at the Python code for this. It's actually pretty straightforward. We make a variable, here it's called myFile, that's going to hold on to that connection. Then we use the built-in open function. We just need to give it 2 things, the name of the file we want, and a little 1-letter code called the mode, which basically tells Python what we're planning to do with it. Okay, so what about that little letter, the mode? Well, these are super important. R is just for reading, W is for writing. Now be really, really careful with W. It will totally wipe out whatever was in the file before. A is for append, which is much safer. It just adds new stuff to the end. And R+ lets you do both. Getting the mode right is the first big hurdle. Okay, on to step 2, reading from a file. So once you've made that connection, you can start pulling the information out of the file and into your program's memory. This is how your program can actually learn what was saved the last time it ran. And Python gives you a couple of really handy ways to do this. You can use the .read method to just slurp the entire file into one big string. Or, and this is super useful, you can use a for loop to go through the file one line at a time. That's perfect if you've got, say, a list of high scores or usernames, one on each line.
All right, now for the flip side, writing to a file. This is where the magic happens. This is your program making its mark, saving that new high score, or storing whatever the user typed in. This is what gives your software that all-important memory. And here's the golden rule, the thing you absolutely have to remember. You must open the file in either W for write or A for append mode before you can even think about writing. Once that's done, the .write method is easy. You just give it the text you want to save. Now, this is maybe the most important distinction you need to get straight in your head for the exam. Think of W mode as getting a brand new, completely blank page. It wipes everything. But A mode is like finding the last sentence in your notebook and just continuing from there. Mixing these two up is a classic mistake that can accidentally delete all your data, so always, always double-check your mode. And that brings us to our last and honestly, vital step, closing the file. I know, it sounds a bit like just tidying up, but trust me, it is so important. If you forget to close a file, sometimes the stuff you wrote never actually gets saved properly to the disk. It's like writing a whole essay and then just walking away with the book still open. The good news? The code for this is about as easy as it gets. It's just your file variable, followed by .close with a pair of empty parentheses. That's it. This officially saves all your changes and tells the computer you're done with that file for now. Okay, theory's done. We've looked at all 4 tools in our toolkit. Now, let's see how they actually work together in a real example. We're going to follow the whole process, from creating a file to adding more info later. This is exactly the kind of thing you'll need to do in your projects. Right, here we go. First line, we're opening a file called ni.txt using W for write mode. Now, since this file probably doesn't exist yet, Python just goes ahead and creates it for us. Super helpful. But if it did exist, poof, this line would have wiped it clean. Then we use .write to put some text in our new file. And see that little N at the end? That's just code for press the Enter key. It tells the computer to move the cursor down to start a new line for whatever comes next. And here it is, the moment of truth. We call .close.
As soon as this line runs, that file ni.txt is officially saved to your computer with that first sentence safely inside it. Our program's connection to it is now cut.
But wait, we're not done with it yet. We open the exact same file again. But look closely. This time we're using A for append. We're telling Python, hey, find that file, but don't you dare delete anything. Just get ready to add some more stuff to the very end.
And now we write another little bit of text. Because we're in append mode, this just gets tacked right onto the end of what was already there. Nothing gets overwritten, which is exactly what we want.
And one last time, we close it up. This saves our final change. So now that ni.txt file is sitting there on the disk with both pieces of text safely stored together, ready for us to read later. And there you have it, the whole cycle, start to finish. Open, write, close, then open again, append, and close. Don't let the simplicity fool you. This is a real game changer. It's how you go from making simple scripts to building proper, useful applications that can actually remember things.
So that kind of leaves us with one big question, right? Now that you have this power, this ability to make your program save data, what are you going to build first? A game that saves your progress? A personal diary app? A tool to log your revision notes? The possibilities are literally wide open.